and I'm very happy to be here at this very important event. And I think it's extremely timely that you organize it, because even if it's a very difficult situation in our region, we still have to talk about how to improve and to move forward the bilateral relationship between Romania and Ukraine. I will say in my intervention today maybe a few things on a very hot topic, a topic that is on the mind of all Europeans, so not only in our region. I will say a few things about the gas market. And we are seeing, of course, these outrageous gas prices. And when I say outrageous, I will just say that one thing that is an obstacle for some people to perceive the extent of the difficulty that we are all in is the fact that we used to, in the energy area, we used to quote the natural gas prices in dollars per 1,000 cubic meters. So that was the customary quotation for prices in natural gas market. Then the European Union came and they said, you have to, I mean, we express the prices in euro per megawatt hours. And here is the disconnect, because we do not always, translate from dollars to, 1,000 cubic meters, then how this relates to euro in euro per megawatt prices. So what would have been an easy comparison maybe 10 years ago becomes more difficult to see, in terms of how this price dynamic unfolded. And few people actually realize that when we talk about prices of 140 or 160 euros per megawatt hours, this is actually close to $2,000 per 1,000 cubic meters. So this is something unseen, unthinkable. And I will just tell you that 10 years ago, in 2013, it was outrageous that Macedonia paid the highest price for natural gas, and that was $500 per 1,000 cubic meters. And now we're talking about almost 2,000. So we are living these unprecedented and difficult times on the natural gas market. We're all suffering. We know why we're suffering, and we're looking for solutions to it. Of course, speaking about Romania and what Romania could have done, I do not want to engage in this could have, should have, what we could have done and we didn't, because when we speak about the point where we could have been, we, Romania as a country, but also our region, because Romania could have been a security, an energy security provider by now. I would remind you that the discovery in the Neptune deep perimeter was made 10 years ago, exactly 10 years ago. So in 2012, and we're in 2022, and Romania did not manage to put into production those natural gas volumes. Initially, the date was floated, and it was scheduled to be put in production in 2018. So we could have been already 4 years now into gas flowing into Romania. Romania wouldn't have had one issue, one problem with our natural gas supply. Furthermore, we could have supplied some volumes to Ukraine, to Bulgaria. We could have maybe covered the entire requirement in terms of natural gas consumption of Moldova, or if not entirely, at least half. So things could have been very different now, but we are not in that reality. We are in this reality in which those natural gas volumes are not yet produced. Molecules from Neptune Deep are not flowing. Now, I do not want to be only gloom and doom in today's presentation, and I will also want to say a few good things that have happened, in the sense that the European Union has moved and pushed forward projects that give us today the instruments to solve this situation. And what I'm talking about, compared to a decade ago, we now have an LNG terminal. I'm talking about the region, the Southeast European region. We have an LNG import terminal in Croatia, the Krk LNG terminal. We have LNG terminals in Greece, one to be completed hopefully this year, the one at Alexandroupolis. We have 4 LNG terminals, import LNG terminals in Turkey, 2 onshore and 2 offshore. Offshore ones called FSRUs, floating storage and regasification unit. And Turkey is working on a 5th one, also floating one, which they say is on schedule and will become operational this year, so 2022. And furthermore, it has committed in writing to put this fifth Turkish LNG import terminal at the disposal of the European Union to cover our needs in the upcoming winter. We have further good news. We have the TransBalkan Pipeline, which used to carry Russian gas from the east to the west, to Greece, to Turkey, Macedonia, and which is now free of the obligations to transit Russian gas. So these are three parallel pipelines which can be used in reverse flow and which could carry LNG brought from elsewhere, regasified, and then sent not only to Romania, but further to Ukraine even. So it could, so the good news in all this is that the regional infrastructure is there. Old infrastructure, which is no longer obliged to transport natural gas, Russian natural gas to the east, because it has been redirected through the Turk Stream. We have the interconnected Greece-Bulgaria, and these are all projects that the European Union has pushed forward, and they have materialized precisely because of the funding from the European Union. So we have these new instruments and this infrastructure that can be used to bring natural gas from places that we didn't even dream of or think about 10 or 15 years ago, because it was not an option. But now we can talk about maybe importing, I don't know, natural gas from Egypt or from Israel, not directly from Israel, because Israel doesn't have a liquefaction capacity. But sending it to Egypt, Egypt has the liquefaction capacity. We could contract from Egypt. It comes to Greece or to Turkey, then regasified, sent by pipeline through the TransBalkan Pipeline. It can reach Romania, it can reach Moldova, it can reach Ukraine. So plenty of things to be also optimistic about, I would say. And I wanted to stress that we have to see, even if it's a difficult situation, things are still in motion and not everything is resolved, and there are things that governments are working on, but we have the instruments to make this work. And it's just a race against time to solve these issues as fast as possible. But we have the tools and we have the infrastructure. In terms of the bilateral relationship between Romania and Ukraine, I think, and you all know this, there is tremendous potential there, especially on the energy side and the gas transmission side, in the sense that Romania, given all this that I have said before, given that Romania has this excellent position, yeah, it could transform and it fits well for the role of becoming a transit corridor for natural gas that can come from many other places and can reach Moldova, can reach Ukraine. But I'm tired. Yes, we do talk about the potential. For many years, this is all I hear, potential. We need, and it's high time to transform this potential, to materialize it into projects. So it's up to Romania, it's up to Ukraine. Ukraine has this tremendous advantage of underground gas storage. You know very well that we, in Europe, the European states are obliged to fill their underground gas storages up to 80% by November the 1st, in order to make sure that we go through the winter safely. But we have this tremendous underground gas storage capacity in Ukraine, which, by the way, last time I looked, so that was July 25th, Ukraine's underground gas deposits were filled up to a quarter. So if Europe and Southeast Europe and the European Union, the European Commission is serious about thinking of or devising insurance policies for the same Moldova, for instance, who may face a cutoff in Russian gas supply. This is a possible scenario. We are talking also about the fact that the European Union, the European Commission wants to start purchasing gas on behalf of the European countries. So to become, in a way, sort of monopoly buyer. So single buyer of Russian gas for the European market, replacing the fragmented, now bilateral contracts that exist between, let's say, Gazprom and individual, each country. The platform is set. It will but it is set for future purchases of natural gas and green hydrogen. Careful, green hydrogen. But I think maybe we shouldn't, or the European Union shouldn't wait for the future purchases of gas, but could experiment. And this is one idea that I'm entertaining these days. It could and maybe should start with smaller steps and experimenting with smaller purchases of gas that it would own. They would belong to the European Union, and the European Union could store this gas, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BCM, stored in Ukraine, utilizing Ukraine's underground gas storage capacity, and then kept as an insurance policy for the upcoming winter, maybe in case, I don't know, there is a shortfall in supply in Southeast Europe. Or in case Moldova, who is not a member of the European Union, is left without gas. Or in case Moldova doesn't need this gas, it could be gifted or rebranded as a strategic aid for Ukraine in these pressing times of war. So I think that there are things that the European Commission and the European Union could do, but this involves outside the box thinking and maybe courageous steps in a direction that it hasn't explored before. Anyway, these were the issues that I wanted to lay out for you in terms of the thinking that I'm engaging these days, and let's say innovative approaches to solving the current gas crisis and preparing for the upcoming winter, including Ukraine, Romania, and which involve practical development and the next step in the bilateral relationship. Romania has always positioned as a big advocate of Moldova with respect to the European Union. And I think here is a critical role for Romania to play in maybe lobbying for such an idea, for such an insurance plan for upcoming winter for Moldova, especially since Moldova is not in any position to buy this gas that would serve as a buffer or as a plan B at the current prices. They face inflation of 30% inflation, so that's higher than what we have in Romania. And I think Romania here is the key in maybe advocating, lobbying for an unorthodox solution, which we haven't thought about before.